And we are live. Hey, what is going on out there? How's everybody doing, man? This is your boy Big Mar. I am here today with one of my amazing friends. They've been an amazing partner for for the beautiful Black Bitcoin billionaires, Fold. And today we have in the studio my man Will Reeves. What happened? What's happening, Will? How you doing, man?
I'm good, Mar. Wild times out here. It's happy to be up here. What are we
Man,
doing?
you don't say. Wild times is like it's to say the least of it, right? It's really crazy because even with everything going on, all the turmoil in the space, every channel, every news outlet is talking about what's going on in quote unquote crypto. But us guys over here in the Bitcoin world are kind of chill, right? It's like we're a little bit different, right? Because we understand where we are in Bitcoin and we so chill that while everything's going crazy, some people like Fold tend to build. And today we're going to talk about what Fold has built. So here's the question, Will. When you see times like these, does it make you get nervous or does it make you just want to like continue to push forward in the way we've been doing for so many years?
There's been a few constants working in this space for a while. Is that these lessons have been learned already. They just were learned at a much smaller scale. And the hardest part is how do we get loud enough to educate those people, the newcomers, about those lessons learned so that hopefully on the next wave, we don't have to deal with such repercussions. But unfortunately, we find ourselves here today in another moment where we didn't learn those lessons. And so we're dealing with some of the repercussions. But, you know, with Bitcoin and staying true to those principles, what do we do in bear markets? We continue to build, regardless of those lessons were learned or not. We continue to build good products, good things that hopefully is able to break through and reach that next wave so that maybe, just maybe, we can break this cycle. We'll see.
Listen, one thing about Fold, I've been knowing the guys at Fold for a very long time. The guys and gals at Fold. It's not just guys, but I've been knowing them for a while. One thing about them, they are some of the most creative people in the space from a design perspective, from how they engage with the user. I remember way back in the day, everybody used to talk about how are we going to make Bitcoin easy? We need better UI. We need better UX. I think Fold is hitting that part out the park. I don't think anybody has ever said anything about the Fold app that is said like I don't know how to use it. I think people can just easily pick up the Fold app and use it. But you know what's so funny? Fold has added another feature. See, most people use Fold. They use their card. They buy things. They get Sats back in return. They go to the spin wheel and they spin the wheel and get a few Sats. Some people may win a Bitcoin every once in a while, but now they are adding their UI UX expertise, their design to buying Bitcoin. Fold is introducing the purchasing of Bitcoin. Will, talk a little bit about that, man.
I mean, I got to hand it off to the team. So I think you're right. I think Fold in this space does the best job about making Bitcoin approachable and easy. There's no excuse anymore. But the challenge was the team is, okay, how can we create the absolute best way to buy Bitcoin that exists? What does that look like? You can buy Bitcoin a lot of places. And we're learning right now, especially, there's some good places to buy Bitcoin and there's some bad places to buy Bitcoin.
Yes, sir.
And so beyond just staying true to that and making sure we're principled in that way, how do we actually make Bitcoin fun, easy, and create something brand new? And so I just put that question to the team. And over the last few months, they were heads down and have built what I believe is the best buying experience out there. I'm talking no fees, tight spreads, free withdrawals to self-custody whenever you want. You're going to earn rewards when you're buying Bitcoin, which is absolutely unheard of. Of course, we're Bitcoin only, totally denominated in Satoshis. No trading charts, no red, green candles to make you, anxious going throughout the days, just stacking sats. And then there's no sell button. This is about long-term stacking. And I think that combination of that, we built something truly different. And again, this is all the team has just done an incredible job. And I think it's built something truly new and different.
Yeah, I love you guys' vision. I love where you're headed. The fact that you are Bitcoin only, we usually send people to applications that are Bitcoin only just to make sure the newbies don't get too tempted, so to speak. We don't listen at Black Bitcoin Billionaire. We don't care what you buy. Like that's your money. I'm not in your pocket. But for newbies, I think we do need to start structuring things to make sure that they understand what the real is first, and then they can go out and start learning, saying about all this other crazy stuff that clearly has gotten people wrecked, right? So if we think about what has happened, and that mean the elephant in the room, FTX, which was a very large exchange globally, has filed for bankruptcy. On top of that, BlockFi, which was another exchange that many Bitcoin influencers, many crypto influencers promoted, pushed out there, they've gone belly up. So there's a lot of fear out here in the space, and a lot of people are getting wrecked, and it's extremely sad to me. Like, I'm not one of those people like to, and I know you guys at Fold definitely aren't the kind of people that like to step on people's graves and try to make people feel bad, because people lost real money. And the issue is that the education wasn't getting directly to the people, and so people wind up getting education that wasn't so good, or they wind up learning about something from a different angle that wasn't so good. And I think it's very important for us to continue to keep making sure that people get enough knowledge so they can make informed decisions and not be behind the 8 ball when things like this happen. So what do you think about what's going on in the space, man? It's very unfortunate, but I think you got something else you want to announce to help out with that. But go ahead. What do you think about what's going on in the space right now?
As we were talking earlier, this isn't new. It's just happening to more people than ever before. And this is unfortunately means that, thousands and thousands of people are learning an extremely hard lesson. And the problem is it's not a good time to be learning lessons. The world is not easy, even outside of being in this space. And so, at the end of the day, what Fold tries to do is make sure a place that you can count on stands and is principled. The hard part is it pays to shill anything under the sun besides Bitcoin. A lot of exchanges out there come out, say, come buy Bitcoin. And then what they do is introduce you to all matter of things that are going to get you in trouble. And unfortunately, that in the past has paid a lot of money. Now they're seeing the reckoning on that now, which is changing the tables a little bit. But at the end of the day, they were able to take a lot of people astray. And so at Fold, we want to make sure that everyone feels that, there's still, this space is still has the promise, potential, and can change your life if we are using the services and have the education to do the right things. And so we're offering what we call Rex Relief, is that anybody who's had an issue with their platforms, whether that's Celsius, BlockFi, Voyager, FTX, Gemini, anybody who has been wrecked or misled in any way by these platforms can come to Fold. We're going to give them 50,000 sats immediately. Let's just make you whole. Let's start your journey again. We're going to give you 3 months of our subscription product, which means that you're going to be able to earn sats on every single purchase you make with our debit card. And I think best of all, you're going to get our access to our new Bitcoin buying feature that lets you start anew. No shit coins, stacking sats, no fees, rewards. And I think you're going to start your journey on a whole nother start in a way that is going to put you in a place where in a few years from now, we're going to be able to make up for, some of the nightmares that some of us may have gone through in this past couple of weeks.
Yeah, some of you guys have been using other offerings and longer solvent, and they are in bankruptcy. And so Fold is providing you some relief for that, which I think is a very powerful thing. And I truthfully believe other companies may follow behind this. They might be the leader in this right now, because I think that's what it is. I think we definitely need to think about those people, like I said, those people who had no clue, who wind up getting hit by this. And some people might have lost their life savings, right? Some people might have lost like their college money, their kids' college money. And we definitely want to say we're sorry about that. And hats off to everyone who steered clear of it. But at the same time, those people who didn't steer clear of it, please come check out something like the Rec Relief Program on on Fold. One thing though I do want to ask, and it wouldn't be very, I wouldn't be a journalist if I didn't ask this. Okay, so we know you guys have the buying function now within Fold. The question is, to me, are you guys using a third-party service like a Prime Trust? Because we see what's happening with these third parties. Whenever you stack parties on top of parties, I remember back in the day, people would say, Lamar, never build a startup on a startup, right? Because you do that kind of thing. If that bottom startup goes out, you're gonna run into trouble. What do you see about Prime Trust? And if you guys are you guys using Prime Trust? Because we had some questions about that earlier, but yeah, I like for you to tell me, are you guys using Prime Trust and what do you see in them if you guys are using those guys?
One of the mantras in this space and is trusted third parties are security holes, and that remains true. The only person that's not a third party security hole is yourself. And that's what this space is really learning right now. And so historically, what Fold has been doing is we hold all of the rewards that we pay out to our users in multi-signature cold storage setup that we operate ourselves, rely on no third parties. And we make sure that when we do weekly payouts of rewards, which last week, or actually yesterday, we just paid out 14 Bitcoin in rewards, $250,000 to our users who are now taking that to cold storage. And we pride ourselves in encouraging our users, empowering our users to do so. Now, when we talk about our Bitcoin buying feature, we need to buy our Bitcoin from somewhere. And so we've chosen Prime Trust to do that. But we want to make one thing clear, is that we're using Prime Trust so that you can buy Bitcoin and withdraw Bitcoin. This is not a custody solution. So Fold has no business and does not want you to, and will incentivize you to take your funds off of Fold, off our platform immediately. And at the end of the day, regardless of the third party, whether that's Cash App, whether that's Coinbase, whether they are all the same. They are trusted third parties, and unfortunately, they are all security holes. So the only way to keep yourself safe is to find a good place to buy Bitcoin and withdraw it immediately to cold storage. And this is where Fold's principles of providing that education, getting it out there, it's not that hard. We can all self-custody, and that can work for everybody. And we're going to continue to educate there. But at the end of the day, I think what we've built is by far the best way to buy Bitcoin and withdraw that to self-custody. We're not here to provide a custodian. We don't want to hold your Bitcoin. We have no reason to. We want you to store that. And Fold is going to do everything we can to get you empowered to do so.
Man, Will, I appreciate you saying that. Also, another question I wanted to ask, because I asked this question earlier. What about the spread situation? One of the things that I realized is that a lot of these exchanges that are going belly up are these situations, I should say, that are going belly up. Who knows what they were? They didn't have any Bitcoin. They literally had paper Bitcoin that they were selling to the public. So the supply of Bitcoin on the market might be a lot lower than we even knew. Like we assumed that these places had the Bitcoin to back it up. But then when you go and look at the balance sheets of some of these entities, they have zero Bitcoin, and they were some of the largest exchanges. So what happens if you run into that type of liquidity crunch and supply crunch again, and the spreads at Prime Trust get to where they were? They were pretty high. They were pretty high earlier in the week. We had a whole clubhouse about that in Black Bitcoin Billionaire. So what do you do about that? And do you have some remedies for that? Are you going to just be completely honest and open? What's the remedy for that? Those spreads being crazy.
Listen, some of this stuff is kind of unprecedented. Our users withdrew yesterday more Bitcoin than FTX had on their balance sheet. A multi-billion-dollar company. Fold has more Bitcoin than FTX. Right. All of this, we're realizing, like you say, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There's a lot of Bitcoin being sold that's not real Bitcoin. And so, number one, the first thing you got to do, you buy Bitcoin and you withdraw it. That's just the muscle that you got to build. Fold and other companies out there are here to help you do that. And I would say, if you're going to buy Bitcoin anywhere, number one thing you should look at is, do they encourage you to hold that Bitcoin on their platform or not? If they don't, that's probably a good sign they're a good place to go. If they do, that's when you need to do some more diligence. Now, in regards to spreads, this, again, like we said, these aren't new lessons we're learning. They're just much bigger lessons at a much bigger scale. And What we saw happen with spreads is they kind of skyrocketed because the whole market was getting shaky about where they're finding liquidity and how to do that. And unfortunately, that led to spreads that Fold's never going to offer, and something that we want to avoid at all costs. And so when we think about this Bitcoin buying experience, this is the first iteration of what Fold's launching. And one thing you can always count on with Fold is we're going to keep on building and building and building. And part of that is to make sure that we're not reliant or beholden to moments like that. So our users have to deal with high spreads. So that means making sure we have the right partners so that we can source from a variety of places, so that we can make sure you're always getting the best bang for your Bitcoin, and make sure that you're made whole. And that means not relying on single sources. And so, again, these are the things you can't escape. Any third party should not be trusted. And we got to do the work, which is put in self-custody. And the second is, if you are trusting, if you are relying on third parties, make sure you're diversifying amongst them so that you're not beholden to a single one. And if you do that, you're going to be put in a good spot. And again, if you want to erase risk from yourself, buy it and self custody it. That reduces about 99% of risk that you have.
No, listen, man. I say this all the time. There's no way you can have freedom money if somebody else is bounding your Bitcoin. Think about it. The Bitcoin's not free, so how are you free? Right? The only way you are free is if you actually self custody, have the Bitcoin in your own hand, keep it for yourself. So we got some questions coming through already, right? It says, will there still be a 30-day withdrawal requirement for BTC that's purchased? So you got some Fold customers here, man.
They're playing some inside ball right now. So absolutely not. So our Bitcoin byproduct that's coming out is going to start off with a 3-day period. And that's just to make sure that there's no chargebacks or returns or any fraud happening. So we're starting at 3. Our goal is to get that down to same day. And I hope to do that as fast as possible. But already 3 days is pretty competitive in the market. Our rewards are held for 30 days. And the reason why that is you go buy something at Amazon. Hey, it wasn't the right fit. You return it. So Fold needs to be able to get those rewards back because we're going to be on the hook for that. And so they're totally separate and have completely different rules. You're going to be able to withdraw your Bitcoin that you buy on Fold whenever you'd like. You don't need to wait for the once a week weekly payouts that like we do with rewards. So these are 2 different constructs within the Fold app. And again, these are just where we're starting, and it's only going to get better from here.
Yeah, and always remember, those are because of the systems that they have to play within. The credit cards, think about somebody using their debit card or credit card and then doing a chargeback and basically stealing the Bitcoins from Fold. They have to mitigate their risk. Same as he said with the items at like an Amazon. They have to mitigate their risk as well so they can continue to be solvent and be a good company and not be upside down because of the people actually using their system in a fraudulent way. So those things are because of the current system that we are in. And it makes a whole lot of sense. If there was a no refund policy on the stuff that you buy, then they would probably give you your rewards immediately. But we know that's not the world we live in. Let's see. Somebody else said, I'm afraid third-party custody companies providing a service, fulfilling a need are coming. She's saying that basically, I think what she's saying is that these new companies will say they're providing a service that helps them not have to, you don't have to deal with things like FTX or what happened with BlockFi. And I think what she's basically getting to is that, listen, everybody, sovereign money requires responsibility. Freedom requires responsibility and accountability, period. You have to learn how to be responsible for yourself and for your own money. And think about it. These are the things that we've always done to grow up, right? This is what your parents tell you to grow up. Now, guess what? We got to grow up. We all got to grow up a little bit more and realize that if we're going to be free, just period, that we have to start moving towards self-custody. If you have any other questions, please let them be had. If you're on Clubhouse, I know we everywhere. We're on Clubhouse right now. We're on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We're getting questions from YouTube. We're getting questions from Facebook. Good question. Is Lightning withdrawal coming soon? You got people on. Listen, you got Fold customers here, man. People know what's going on.
No, these are the right questions to ask. So, Fold was early on Lightning, and this was before Lightning any services really out there. You had to not only build the infrastructure, but then you had to offer it to end consumers. And so, where we are standing now is that now that we have the ability to buy Bitcoin within the app, Lightning is going to become a front and center part of our roadmap in 2023. And part of that is because there are such incredible advancements in infrastructure that have come through on Lightning that allows you to use that at a much, much bigger scale. Like you're going to see non-custodial Lightning wallets start to emerge in all the apps that you love directly in there. So not only can you buy Bitcoin, but it's immediately transferred into a non-custodial where you hold the keys, Lightning wallet. You can send, receive, deposit, and all of that has come to a level of maturity where Fold, we have thousands and thousands of customers relying on us every single day. And so when we build something and offer it, we need to make sure that's going to work for everyone. And I'm pretty confident that 2023 is absolutely the year where this stuff is ready for the big leagues. And that means it's ready to come into Fold. And so you'll absolutely see more Lightning coming in here. Again, this is just where we're starting off. We're starting here.
I'm excited, man. Listen, I'm excited Because I know Fold's gonna do it right. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Fold's gonna make it so easy. Your grandmother's gonna be able to do it. That's a little line from the old school Fever Wallet, but I'm gonna throw it at Fold right now, man, because you guys really got UI UX down to a science. I went over to Clubhouse to get some questions. Man, I'm telling you, this is a good. You guys got some customers out here, and they are asking these real questions, brother. Somebody says, "Is it available for those in New York yet?"
So that's one of the things that is currently not available for those in New York. Unfortunately, that New York license, that bit license, causes some hurdles. But this is what, when we're talking about expanding partners, expanding liquidity partners, that's when we get to start to expand to the states and the areas that it's not currently available. So what I can tell you is that we have every intention. Some people on our team live in New York and can't even test the app. So some of this ridiculous, legislation is out there. We have to deal with it. But again, we're starting with this, and we're going to rapidly make sure that you're getting access to Lightning. You're going to get access when you're in New York. And this is where I'm really, really bullish on this next year with Fold. Because again, as Mar said, we're going to do it right.
Man, I'm all over the place. It's beautiful. Let's see. I got another comment. It looks like it says roughly a year ago, Will said Bitcoin rewards will eat the world. Love to see Fold leading the pack. Look at this, man. You got a fan, brother.
That's a deep cut, and to be honest, it's largely true, and we were on an incredible path. The only problem is a lot of the companies and organizations that were joining us, and after the Fold card launch, first debit card where you can earn Bitcoin rewards, we saw a lot jump on the bandwagon. Unfortunately, most of them aren't surviving anymore. So we have a little hiccup on how fast we're going to eat the world, but I think this is inevitable. I think you'll see some stuff this year on how Fold is able to partner with other companies to allow them to offer Bitcoin rewards to their customers. So I stand by that, and I think we've already seen incredible progress since whenever I said that.
Listen, everybody, since whenever he said it, listen, people were remembering a year ago as dope, man. listen, go to use.foldapp.com/r/rect relief. You guys are probably seeing it scrolling underneath underneath what you're seeing on YouTube. As somebody else just said on Clubhouse, they said the video on YouTube is amazing. I just don't think they know how beautiful we are, man. We have some. No, but they love the video. They love what's going on, the content. But again, Fold Rec Relief. This is relief for all of you guys who may have lost some money on these other platforms. Fold is here to bail you out, right? So many times bailouts go to the big boys, right? To the big banks and to the big exchanges. But Fold is saying, listen, you come join up with us. First of all, we're going to put some sats in your pocket to get you straight. And then we're going to allow you to come on for, 3 months free? Is that what it is?
90 days for our subscription. So you're going to get all the boosted rewards, 5% Amazon. There's no better time to really jump on this with the holidays coming.
Right. And for everybody on Twitter Spaces, I'm about to share more information about it up in the top. If you look up in the nest on Twitter Spaces, Rec Relief there, and also on Clubhouse. See, this is the thing. This is what you get with Black Bitcoin Billionaires. We don't play around. We put you in a million channels at once. And we have this thing going. So let me get this same link over here on Clubhouse so everybody can click it. If you have been affected by some of the issues that have been going on within the broader cryptocurrency space, please go check out use.foldapp.com/r/rect REKT rec relief RELEIEF. Again, that's use.foldapp.com/r/rect relief. Yeah, man, listen, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure when I get on the horn with my man Will Reeves, man, and the Fold app. And here's the thing you have to understand. Companies like Fold, they exist because they keep building. They exist because they keep listening. You heard him say, y'all ask about Lightning withdrawals. He's already on it, right? Nobody was probably even thinking about Rect Relief. He's already on it, right? And I'm not going to say he, because I know he would say his squad's already on it. His team's already on it. And they're an amazing team over there. Shout out to the people at Fold. Thank you all for always consistently being a wonderful partner with the Black Bitcoin billionaires and understanding our plight to try to educate the entire world on what's great about Bitcoin and its freedom, man. So thank you, man. You got any last words you want to say to people on Twitter Spaces and everywhere else? I think we have a person that's trying to come up on Twitter Spaces, but because they can't jump on, people can't hear them. So I don't. Man, yeah, I can get them here. You know what? I'm gonna try to bring them up. Let me try to bring them up. But yeah, go ahead. Do you have any last words while I bring this gentleman up on Twitter Spaces?
I just say stay safe out there, everybody. I mean, all the tools are there for you to take responsibility, and there's companies like Fold, Unchained, Swan, River. There's no shortage of companies that, number one, who have aligned incentives. That means when you're looking for your next place to stack or your next home for your money, make sure the incentives are aligned. If they're asking you to custody your funds and give you some interest, well, you're going to be the interest at the end of the day. Look at those people who are helping you to actually take custody and give you a great experience along the way. So I hope you check out this new amazing feature that Fold's launched. Again, Fold just does stuff differently, and our team has created something pretty amazing, very different. It just doesn't exist out there. And so I couldn't be more excited to start rolling this out. Buy Bitcoin, earn rewards, no fees, tight spreads, Bitcoin only, Sats the standard. It's all the good stuff. And again, we got plenty more dropping in 2023. So stay tuned.
Well, listen, I feel sorry because I didn't check Twitter's comments. And there are a couple people who have questions in Twitter.
All right, let's hear them. Let's hear them.
Can I get those answered? It says, if you guys can ever implement a multi-sig solution into the platform, you will have won the game. Oh, that's a statement. Okay. He said, would you ever bring okay. His question was, would you ever bring a multi-sig solution into the product?
Yeah, so the team is currently engaged not only with potential partners who are offering multi-sig solutions, but also open source offerings that could either be directly within Fold, or Fold could partner so that you are immediately stacking sats directly into a multi-sig storage, and you immediately have custody. So at the end of the day, what is Bitcoin bringing? It's radical ownership. And at the end of the day, that comes down to a multi-sig solution. So we would absolutely love to get there. And it's something that the team's looking into now. So if you have thoughts on how we could do it, who we should partner with, shout it out. Again, we listen. So,
man, gosh, this is a great space, brother, because you got some good questions. Somebody says, well, Will, your screenshot shows earning spins on Bitcoin buys. Is that the plan?
You're going to earn all types of rewards on buying Bitcoin. So baked into it will be spins. You'll be able to have opportunities to earn sats. If you give us feedback on your first buy, you're going to earn sats. Throughout this year, there's going to be stacking challenges, all these types of things that are come. So it's, we're going to do what we do, and that's make sure you're rewarded for using Fold. And we're just going to have fun doing it. So I'm excited to roll this out.
They out here making it rain. This is what Fold is doing right now. All right, look, it says, and then somebody asked, how soon will all Spin Plus users have access to BTC buying on Fold? Like how soon? That's what it's.
As long as nothing's breaking, we can go quick. I know the team is going to do a first rollout today to a small group, and it's only going to be in larger waves, couple thousand, maybe every day, every other day. And so we expect to get you in the next coming weeks for sure. Spin Plus, as always, gets first access to all the new features and other benefits that come with it. So you should get it. If you're Spin Plus, you're going to get it in the next couple of weeks anyway.
Oh my gosh, Will. Some of our international people, some of our international Black Bitcoin billionaire members, they're asking, when do you see and when, I guess he's basically saying, when do we see and can we use Fold in Europe? And then over on the other app, it says, when will Fold come to countries in Africa? So people want you to come international now, Will. They're ready, brother.
Well, I would say when Europe, when you name it country, that's one of the most common things we get. Part of it is just because it's such a great product and people want it everywhere. I don't blame them. So the first thing is I need more help to do that. And so Fold constantly has new job offers up there. We need more people to come help us make this expansion. And that really helps us get to places faster. I think, again, we don't hire many people. We are one of the smallest teams for the size of our user base and the size of our platform in this entire space. I would say probably the smallest, but that's because when we hire absolute pros who are able to handle and ship great products. And so I can't give you an exact date, but I will say we're constantly hiring so that we have more capabilities to move even faster.
So listen, Black Bitcoin billionaires in Europe and Africa, just be on the lookout. And here's the thing, if you know talented developers, tell them to holler at Fold so that they can help bring Fold to your countries. Okay, now Huskers is on stage. Huskers, what's going on, man?
I agree with everything he's saying. Fold's a great product, and I'll continue to use it. One thing that I have never understood is where is Fold, I guess, getting their arbitrage or getting their where do you make your money? Because you seem to be.
Yeah, it's a great question. And that's exactly what you should be asking every single company you do business with is how are their incentives aligned with you? And are they? And so Fold from the very beginning has made a promise to ourselves and our users is that we're going to build a business that's our incentives are aligned with our customers. So that means the more you spend through Fold and the more Bitcoin you buy through Fold, the more Fold, the better Fold does, and the more Bitcoin you stack. We enjoy and share in the profits of that. So our primary revenue streams are interchange. So every time you swipe that debit card, Fold is getting paid, and we're paying you out the majority of that interchange fee that we're getting. Second is that we do subscriptions. So we really look at our Spin Plus as a free card. Anybody can jump on Fold and get a card for free. They can start stacking. But if you really want to take it to the next level and use the card for everything, you're going to do very well. And from there, we have a subscription fee. So interchange, subscriptions. We also have our merchant partners. So every time you're buying gift cards, every time merchants are sponsoring the wheel, things like that, Fold's getting paid, and we're going to share that reward with you. And then with Bitcoin buying, because we've had a large user base that currently is growing every day, and we are now going to be giving them access to our Bitcoin buying. We've been able to negotiate some incredible deals with our partners so that, number one, we make sure spreads are almost at the very minimal. We do not have to necessarily rely on fees. And at the end of the day, the more volume that we're getting through Fold, the more that spread goes to zero. And so for us, if you're buying Bitcoin, we're going to give you rewards that help you use the debit card better. And that's going to make you stack more and us stack more. If you're using the debit card, we're going to give you rewards to help you buy Bitcoin cheaper. And that's going to help Fold as well. So we try to create a product where it's so good that you're going to want to adopt the debit card. You're going to want to buy Bitcoin through us. You're going to want to buy the gift cards and merchant offers, because the more you do that, the more Fold succeeds and the more we both share in those rewards. So we try to make sure that we're aligned entirely. So your win is our win.
Monthly maximums for spend, will that ever change?
Yeah, so that is entirely a function of users asking for more leeway there. And we know that there's a significant amount of people that are going to want to increase that. And so we are working on that. Actually, we had an all hands today where someone in the company asked for that specifically. And I know that there's already a move to increase that as much as we can. So stay tuned for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Huskers. And one last question from Miss Mimi. Mimi came up from the audience as well. Go ahead with your question, Mimi. Hello, Mimi. Maybe she's not at her phone anymore. Can you hear me, Will?
I can hear you, yeah.
So maybe she's not at her phone anymore. Well, Mimi, we tried. We tried to bring you up and get you to answer, ask your question. But outside of that, man, Will, thank you for coming through. Like I said, I always love having you on when you have new cool stuff. because we're all huge fans of Fold around these parts, man. You guys have been great partners with us, and like you said, I think a lot of what you were talking about, you even talk about basically being partners with the customers. So the more success you all have, the better deals you guys can bring to the people. And I love that whole mentality about Fold, man. So thank you guys, man. It's been really real. Again, make sure you go to use. Here, let me make sure I get that up there one more time for you. Use.foldapp.com /r lowercase r /rec relief for that rec relief program. And also Fold is introducing Bitcoin purchases. Thank you, Will, man. See you later, brother. And I appreciate you. And this has been our special edition of the Genesis Block. See you, man.
Always a pleasure, Mar.
See you guys later, man. Make sure y'all keep coming through Black Bitcoin Billionaire on Clubhouse. We opening way more rooms again. We back on it. We're going to try to get back on our Genesis Block to make sure we have that on a consistent basis again, because this is needed. In times of fear, you need something to steady out the ship, and we'll try to be that steady rudder for you to make sure we steer you in the right direction. All right, man. Thank you, guys. Everybody, until next time, live, love, life. If you live love, you'll love your life. See y'all, man.